I'm gonna get a picture of the shelter. Yesterday there was somebody in here, so I didn't get a chance. He is gone. So this shelter has bunks. And it's missing stairs because the porcupines have had a field day, it looks like. Numerous sightings of porcupines inside and outside the shelter. Salt is an attraction. It's the biggest outhouse I've seen. This is a big outhouse. It's the first two-seater. Only one side's working. Good morning, it's Wednesday, July 8th. Just got my food out of the bear box and I'm breaking camp. I tried to sleep in, the birds were going at 5:30, kept waking me up. It was hot, it's humid. So I didn't sleep very well last night. I tossed and turned a lot. I do have a headache, so I took some Tylenol. I got 3.5, or between 3.5 and 4 miles to go today. Should be downhill, but I think it's rocky. So, should be a relatively simple day today. The next few days are going to be kind of crazy. There's not a town anywhere close, so I need to make sure I have everything I need. And there's a beaver area coming up. I've seen some people cross it, but there is a blue blaze around it, which I may take. It's supposed to rain next couple of days, not by Friday, which is probably when I'm supposed to get to the beaver thing, so that one's got me worried. I'll probably go around. We'll see. So I broke camp. I'm just trying to dry off my stuff on the hair. I'm gonna have to wipe it down. The ground cloth. Everything else is okay. It's just very damp. Oh, I hated putting on my clothes. Everything's damp. All right, I am curious. I put this in my last video. It's got 3 leaves. Is that poison ivy? There's 5 leaves around it, but there's definitely 3 leaves. There. It's viney looking too. So there's a mix of 3 leaves and 5 leaves, two different plants here. So, who's good at picking out poison ivy? This one has 3 leaves, but it also has 5. So I'm confused. It's about 8:30. I'm all packed up, ready to go uphill to get out of here and then head downhill into Duncannon. So I will be there most of the day. Stop at the hostel, see if I can get my laundry done. Can't believe how wet my clothes are from just sweat. And it's just, everything just collects the moisture, so it's the one thing I don't like. Nothing like a hill to get you going. Sweating, breathing. All right, let's get this show on the road. The rocks continue along this ridge. Makes it for a slow go. Otherwise you could be flying. Because there's not a ton of elevation change. Just rocks. Looks like there's a campsite before you get to Hawks Rock. On my descent down into Duncannon from Hawk Rock. They got some rock stairs in here, which is kind of nice. Oh, but you can see it drops off down there. Wow. These guys did a nice job setting up some steps through here. It's all rock. All right, this was a close one. See how that trail, this is the trail we've been going down. I happened to look off to the side, and guess what? They're making the AT people go up and around for some reason. Well, I'm glistening again. I have no idea why they took the AT hikers up and over. I'm heading back down, but be curious to see if those two trails intersect. That's just crazy. I wonder how many AT hikers missed the turn. It'd be easy to do. Alright, this is blocking the path. So I need to get up and over. I think I'll just go right through the middle here. Get over this last one, I had to sit on it. Alright. I'm over. Alright, we're coming out in a parking area. It goes that way into town. I just came out of the woods. Looks like this goes right into town. So I will be road walking a little while. I did debate whether to stay here. It's still early. I'll have to check what time, but I only did less than 4 miles. But after 1 day, 2 days of hiking, these clothes soaked. It's like I've been out in the rain. So I'm gonna try and get laundry done. And then I gotta put my plan together because I don't have my plan yet for the next section. So I got some work to do. And it's starting to rain. I think I'll get my umbrella out. Close to the hostel now. So this is the kind of outdoorsy hiker place. The monks. Restaurants. There's Crazy Quilt. There's Oneida. And Lucky too. I thought it was Lucky.
It's Lucky too. There's no Lucky one, but I'm Lucky too.
And we had Lightfoot up here somewhere there.
It's cute.
And then we had, where'd she go? Spider Monkey. Where'd Spider Monkey go? Oh, there it is. We're at the kind of outdoorsy hostel, and this is Oneida, who is section hiking, and I was just asking her what inspired you to start hiking.
I live in Oneida, Tennessee, and we have Big South Fork National Park there, but for years I've wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail. and I almost gave up because I couldn't take time off of work or anything. But then I read this article in the Knoxville newspaper about this lady who turned 70 or 71 right after she finished the trail, and I believe her name was Bugsy. And I was still working. I was probably 60 at the time. Then I thought, I can do this. And so after I retired, then I started hiking, and then I fell and broke this wrist and this right upper arm, and that closed that out because the tread on my shoes had worn out.
Oh, so you did it on trail?
Yes,
Oh,
I
no.
did, and walked 2 miles off trail with my backpack on with help of moving parts and another guy that was walking his dog, and it got down, and they helped me get back to Damascus.
Oh,
So,
geez.
and then my family came and got me. So now I hike with my car and another friend. But anyway, after reading this lady, you know, her journey and stuff, and I thought, and she did low miles. She says, as long as you, 10 to 12 miles, and I thought, I can do this. And so I was disappointed that I couldn't be a through hiker, but after talking to other section hikers and getting their opinion about, different people do what they can, then I started section hiking because I thought, I love this.
Wow.
And I could come out here every summer and enjoy this as a long summer vacation and just do the most that I can. And it's just, over 60 type body things with retired nurse, I have nursing feet, nursing knees. So, I just come out every summer and do what I can. The people on the trail, every year, the culture's the same. You meet people. It's a whole atmosphere. It's different people, but the same thing. It's almost like meeting the same type of people over and over again and staying in hostels, and it's really enjoyable and fun. So it doesn't matter how fast you are or how many miles you do. It's the attitude and in just enjoying the trail and enjoying the people.
That's great. So when you're section hiking, what's the longest stretch that you've done? So
500 miles, and then I think 3 and 350. This is my 4th summer, and I'm just 11:49 here, and so this is starting my 4th summer, and I started at Harper's Ferry this year.
Fantastic.
So 3 to 500 is what my main goal is, each summer, and so it's always somewhere in between there.
So with a vehicle, do you carry a backpack with the tent?
Oh yes, yes. I carry a tent and everything. We just park the car and pay for parking, or sometimes free parking, and then hike as far as we want, and then shuttle back to our cars. But this year, my friend's with me, Lucky too, and she has her van, so we are just shuttling each other. But yeah, we're still hiking the trail, still staying in shelters. The last few days, we've slack packed each other through that rough spot where there was no water.
Yeah.
And we'll do that a little bit more when we can. But no, we go out and we'll just hike a long section and then get shuttled back to the cars. It's more expensive with the car.
Yeah.
But there again, you're getting to support all the hostels along the way and people that's always there, to help us on the trail. So the hostel people and the shuttle people and all of that. And it's good to support those people, especially this year when there's less hikers and they're not making the money and stuff. And I just pray that they all are able to stay in business. So hiking with the car, I don't feel like I'm cheating. I'm actually helping the shuttle people and the hostel owners more because we pay extra for parking at some of them, and others let us do it for free. So that's great.
So that's a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And plus, I can offer trail magic to other hikers, that need a lift here or go someplace special to eat or go get resupplies that's different than the area. So that's always fun too.
I appreciate you allowing me to interview you. You have a great story.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We are at the kind of outdoorsy hostel, and I have someone I'd like to interview.
Hi.
You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jessica Hardy, and I'm through hiking northbound on the Appalachian Trail this year.
And so I've been hearing some wonderful things about you today. And why don't you explain how far you typically go in a day?
I try to do 25 to 30 miles a day.
Oh my gosh.
On average, yeah. I stopped. I went home for 10 days, But before I went home for 10 days, I was averaging 26 a day.
That's just like crazy. And the important thing about this is how heavy is your pack? It's not light.
No, it's not light. It's probably like 30s. When we first started, it was a little bit heavier because of the whole COVID situation. I had a 43-pound pack, and that was tough.
Wow.
That was really
And
tough.
you were still putting in all those miles.
No, I started with a friend, and we did a lot less miles, but I kind of made up the mileage over when I stopped hiking with her. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So the training that you've done in preparation for this, what would you say that is?
Oh, okay. Well, I actually didn't know I was going to be doing this at all. I just kind of tagged along with my friend, who this was like her lifelong goal. So I got the year off of work voluntarily, and I said, you know, I wouldn't mind doing it with you. And so I kind of like tagged along. But before then, I do a lot of like long distance running. So I've done anywhere from like 135 milers to, you know, marathons and shorter distances. But I typically run a lot of miles throughout the week. It's probably like 100 plus miles a week.
So how does that compare to what you're doing now?
You know, I thought it was going to be an easy transition to be like doing the backpacking, which, you know, I guess it was a pretty easy transition. But the first couple weeks, I was like blown away at how hard backpacking is with all this weight on your back.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being running, you know, with nothing on your back. I was a little discouraged. I was like, I thought this was going to be easier, you know, and I'm like, this kind of like, you know, yeah, it was a lot more difficult than I gave it credit for.
So Spider Monkey mentioned that your ultra running is taking you in lots of different places.
Yes.
What was the most exciting place?
Let's see. We've done it. I did a race in Australia, which was really cool. It was like bushwhacking in the outback in Australia, 135 miler. And then I also did one in Brazil, and that one's called Brazil 135 Plus. It's like about 155 miles. And it was in the country on this Camino de Fe is what it is, like it's like a, I don't know, kind of like the Camino de Santiago in Europe. It's like its sister. And that was so much fun, to be honest, because we went through the country and we didn't know any Portuguese. It was a new town. We didn't know a lot about the course, and we just kind of showed up and winged it. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
When you're running the 100 plus miles, you stop at night?
No. Yeah, typically you have a cutoff, and you'll have to do it within a certain amount of time. So you run throughout the night.
Holy
typically.
schmoly.
Yeah.
Do you have a support system when you're doing that?
Usually, yeah. Spider Monkey is my crew chief on a lot of them. A lot of these races are like you have to support yourself. So you'll have to have a crew with you and like a van that has all your nutrition and stuff like that kind of like leapfrogs you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you said you started out with a friend and then you ended, and that was her life dream, and yet here you are on the trail and your friend
She's still out there. She's about like 300 miles back.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Exciting. So you expect to be done, you said early?
Probably second week in August. So yeah, averaging somewhere around like 25, 27 miles a day.
Well, I'm excited for you. It's like mine's going to be forever.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. I think like the biggest thing is like this trail is everybody has a different journey and a different, you know, destination and when you're going to get there and stuff. And that's the beauty of it, you know?
So if you had a memory on trail, what would be your most memorable moment so far?
You know, it's funny. So I run this race. I've ran it 2 years. It's called Badwater 135. It's where you run like in Death Valley, you know, go to the lowest point to the highest point. And I came across this other runner out here. His name's Ultra. And I coincidentally, like we ran that same race in 2018 together, but we'd never met each other. And so we met each other, like, and we started talking on the trail, like, hey, what have you done? What have you done? This race only has 100 people in it. It's like, you know, most people know everybody that's in the race. I just didn't know him and he didn't know me. And so, like, we ended up running, like, 2 days together, which was really cool because we know, like, a lot of people. We know a lot of race directors, like, a lot of, like, it's such a small little knit circle of ultra runners. And that was really neat to meet him and hang out with him.
Small world.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best on your travels as you're going, your journey.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's going to come to a finish pretty quick.
It is.
So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.